So this video assumes that you've already set up your dynamic placeholder or your single numbers. If you haven't already done so, go check out those videos. What we're going to talk about on this video is how to configure our URL callbacks, that when somebody places a call either via a single number or a dynamic placeholder, that call information and that caller information goes into Infusionsoft via the ResponseTap Infusionsoft integration. Now what we need to do is we need to configure the URL callbacks, the on-call URL callbacks. You can find these by going to either our single number or our placeholder and clicking on the edit button, and then since we've enabled them in the last step, you can go and configure them via the link here in this drop down underneath the edit button. The URL name is going to be live call per the instructions on the URL callback settings page. The URL, we'll just copy that from here. This uses our integration server, and then what we need to map in here are all the various different tags. So these the tag names relate to the Infusionsoft fields or the integration settings that we're mapping to, and we just simply go down and map against those different settings. So the account variable there and account ID. Then we've got first name. That's a call variable. And first name in Infusionsoft initially, if we don't know that person, what you'll see, if you recall, are is the number that that person's phoned in on. Then also we're mapping that phone number that they phoned in on to the actual phone number as well, and that's going to be again customer number. Then we've got a unique call ID. This is a ResponseTap field, and that's CDR ID. That's ResponseTap's unique identifier for the call. Then we've got the tracking number. This is the number that they see on the website. So we keep a track of that, pardon the pun. So now we're doing the Google Analytics sources for this. Obviously, if this was a single number that you are sending somebody to in a landing page and you're setting up UTM variables for this information, you'd configure that via the Google UTM variables tool. I'll put a link in the blog post below about where to find that. Campaign is a campaign variable. Medium is also campaign variable. Content is campaign variable. Advert reference. And then we pull across, if this is a page that we're sending them to, what page was it that they landed on before they made the call? So where did they enter our site in this particular instance? The conversion URL is also a visitor variable. That's the page from which they phoned. It's called conversion page. Google Analytics refer URL, if it exists, is a visitor variable. It's called referring URL. Term is a visitor variable, and it is keyword. Visitor ID is a visitor variable, and it's visitor ID. So I think we've got everything set up there. Let me just count the fields that I've got. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Great. So I've got the on-call URL, and then I click Save there.